I don't know what's going on. I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is totally my fault because some people, my dad would hit me up. Hey, are we going to do the Big Three this year? Some of my friends who played a couple of years ago. Hey, you bringing it back? And I had all the intentions in the world to bring it back. And the next thing I knew, I'm like, oh my gosh, Tampa plays tonight.
Yeah, but
but that was
why?
a couple of nights ago.
What were you doing?
Lack of planning. And so I was just like, you know what? Let's streamline it. Just you and me. Heads up. Easy, and we'll figure out what the stakes are. But the leading story of the day, how about the Ducks? The Ducks go into the Horseshoe and they take down the number 3 Ohio State Buckeyes, 15-point dogs. Let me ask you this to begin, because you played in the league for 13 years, in the National Football League. Obviously, you're an Aztec. Shout out San Diego State. Did you know the games that you were a huge underdog in, the way Oregon, they were 15-point dogs today against Ohio State? Did you know that, and were you ever motivated by that when you played?
Yeah, I think my first year starting, and thank God for the internet, because you could probably look this up. My first year starting, our second game was Cal, maybe, or either our first or second game was Cal. And that was oh my God. It was in the 19th century. It was 1996, I believe. The 1996 Aztecs. And Reagan Upshaw was the number 1 defensive end in the nation. And I know we were big underdogs in that game. And we won.
Yeah.
We won. I had a great game. That was actually the game my dad said to me, hey, you might be able to do this for a living.
It's motivating, man, when you know the point spread.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, this was a few years ago. I got to interview on Thanksgiving Day Josh Norman, and he was with the Carolina Panthers at the time. That was the year the Panthers went 15-1. So it was on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys. That was the year that Romo was banged up. The Cowboys ended up going 4-12 that year. Now, we didn't know on Thanksgiving Day that the records were going to end up that way, but Carolina was really good, and the Cowboys hadn't been a good team at all. And early in the week, the Cowboys were favored. And I asked Josh Norman about that after the game. The Panthers won. And I'll never forget, he said, that was so disrespectful. That's the way he said it too. It was beautiful. But it's a motivating thing. Obviously, Oregon's motivated to some degree by being underdogs like that. And think about this too. This is a different day and age. With betting being legalized on a state-to-state basis, you got a lot more coverage. I hear a lot more, oh, this team's favored by this. That team's a 15-point underdog. Oregon was well aware of that, and I think it had a role in the outcome of the game. I'm not saying it was everything, but it was something for sure, because you don't waltz in there. They looked like a team that had been disrespected publicly, and they played like it.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Look, I never really got caught up in like the point spread in any of that. Like I just couldn't focus on that. Like if you drive yourself crazy focusing on point spreads and all of that, but the disrespect you definitely focused on. Like the point spread necessarily wasn't the disrespect for players, because they don't create the point spread, right? That's the outside noise. But team.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Welcome in, Husker fans. This is the Husker After Party postgame show. Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. The Husker After Party postgame show is brought to you by Southeast Community College and Street Drive-In, Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. Now, here is your host, Connor Happer.
Welcome into the Husker After Party postgame show. here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Connor Happer, Jake Bachhoven with you after Nebraska's win. However, we don't know the score yet because the game's not over for some stupid reason.
It just won't end.
It won't end. Nebraska just had a what? Oh, Nick, yes, please tell us.
Connor Colt missed a 34-yard field goal.
Oh,
serious?
no.
We shouldn't have turned it off.
Oh, no.
That is,
So Buffalo has the ball.
that's ugly.
Buffalo has the ball. With
I mean, it was a chance to get him some confidence back. It went the complete opposite direction. Jeez.
All right. So I think we should probably start the postgame show by talking about the stupid refs. What the hell? What are we doing? There were so many bad calls today, and people are now saying we're not watching the game anymore because we shut it off, and I was just done with it, to be completely honest with you. And by the way, we want to hear from you guys at 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line. So on the last kind of sequence there, Logan Smothers is in. He throws a nice pass. They get him all the way downfield, and they're trying to punch it in one more time to put the exclamation point on a win and make it 35-3. They run a little option play out with Smothers and Will Nixon, and it's a pitch. You know, it's a normal option pitch. They have a good amount of spacing between the two. And then they go to review it and say that Logan passed it forward. I got to be honest with you, it was probably close, but like on TV and at the game, like Nixon is behind Smothers. That's usually all that matters. I don't know what triggered their, the ref must have been right on it. And he was like, actually, that was a forward pass, or was at least close enough.
Yeah.
Nixon would have scored a touchdown and make it 35-3, his first career touchdown, or 34-3. Who knows about the extra point?
Yeah, at this point.
And then apparently Connor Colt missed the extra point. I didn't see it.
The field goal.
Or the field goal.
The chip shot.
Apparently, tough day for Colt. This game has now officially gone final. Nebraska 28, Buffalo 3. So welcome into the Husker After Party postgame show, everybody.
We're here.
It's
We
a party.
finally made it.
It's a party.
That's
It's a
right.
party. It's a party. Nebraska, Oklahoma week, baby. Let's go. Game of the century. Look, I know, and we're going to talk about a lot of this stuff. We'll talk about Adrian here momentarily as well. Nebraska needed this today, and it didn't really look like it was going to look like this on the scoreboard for maybe a good portion of the game. You always felt like Nebraska was in control, but then, you miss a couple field goals, and you had a touchdown wiped away on a penalty, and it felt like Nebraska could have been maybe up, 30-3, and they were only up, 21-3, or maybe even more than that at that point, 35-3. And you just kind of kept not putting them away until you finally did, and it ended up on a 59-yard pass to Samori Toure, and that kind of put the exclamation point.
So with that last one in the end, they've had 3 touchdowns called back today and 3 missed field goals. And now one of those was on the same drive, so you can't count that as points, but they damn near as many points taken away from them or on missed field goals than they did score today. They should have won this game like 50. I mean, Buffalo missed a few field goals, but maybe like 56-9 or something.
It always has to be stupid in some way. I mean, it's Nebraska football. It always has to be stupid in some way, even if it's a relatively comfortable 28-3 win for Nebraska. We're here for you guys until maybe a little after 7:30 tonight. We kick it over to DP out at Tanner's. Like I said, 402-464-5685. Line them up on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, Starter Heyman text line as well. You can comment on our stream, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Check us out there on the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream. Let's take a phone call to start it off. We got Zach hitting lead off tonight. Zach, good evening. How are you?
Hey, guys. Was glad to hear you guys after the game. I mean, obviously, you look at the score, and if we would have said that pregame, everyone would have been like, yeah, okay, that's all right. It's just, I mean, you could take some, I guess, solace in that the defense is playing well, but the offense just looks bad. It starts up front. The line, I don't know what the rushing yards per carry, if you take out Adrian's yards, are per back, but we're not getting much production from there. I think the biggest run from a running back was on an option play down the sideline where Gabe Irvin stayed in bounds. And it's just, you look at it, and I think most Nebraska fans know football well enough to know that that's just not going to work. And, I don't think most of us have high hopes for the Oklahoma game, but that Michigan State game is not maybe as of a patsy game as we were hoping for.
Cakewalk.
Michigan State looked pretty good.
Yep, that's for sure.
Northwestern is not great, but it's very frustrating, and I don't know where the disconnect is. I don't know if it's the play calling. I don't know if it's the quarterback. Obviously, it's
Adrian looked good today.
Offensive line, but it's not clicking. And no, I don't think any of us would have thought 4 years in that Scott Frost's calling card or the what his team would be was a defensive team. And special teams, well, they're just special. So anyways, have a good show, guys. Thanks.
Exactly. Well, here's the deal, man. First of all, you take what you can get. If Nebraska has a good defense that they can rely on and depend on in games like this, then I don't care what they came in here and intended to do. If they wanted to score 75 points a game and it turns out now 3 years later that they have a good defense, I'm like, cool, whatever. Zach's right. I mean, the offense still isn't clicking on all cylinders, but they've found ways to manage it. Now, it's against Fordham and Buffalo over the last 2 weeks where you've outscored your opponents by, I can't do the math in my head right now. But, Adrian's played two of his best games in a while. Adrian Martinez today, 14 of 20, 296 yards and 2 touchdowns with 9 carries, 112 yards in the ground, including a couple, one huge, unbelievable play made on a 79-yard scramble or something like 71-yard scramble. So 296 plus 112, that's 408 yards of offense for Adrian Martinez. Yeah, I mean, like, you could say what you want about the offensive line, and it's going to be an issue. And you just kind of hope that it gets better. And look, we could say that out loud. We see it. Everyone sees it through 3 games. Nebraska's offensive line hasn't been great, but you have, dare I say, you have old Adrian right now. You do. I mean, he's making plays for Nebraska when stuff breaks down. He's finding receivers down the field, and they did commit to the run today. They committed to it,
stuck with it,
and Buffalo sucked up a little bit, and Adrian hit Samori Toure, and Adrian hit a couple of long throws and made an excellent play with his feet. I mean, if you would have told me, so go back to the whole 3 years ago thing with the offense, if you would have told me on a random game in 2021, Adrian Martinez would have had 408 yards of offense, I would have been like, well, first of all, why is he still here? You
don't won a Super Bowl yet?
Second of all, that's a pretty good quarterback day. And whether we're talking about 2018 offense, whether we're talking about 2021 offense. So they've found a way to kind of manage it so far. Not that it's not going to come back and bite you. You're going to have to run the ball in this league and maintain clock and possessions. But, man, Adrian's bailed you out a lot this year, and he's been pretty good, and his receivers have been pretty good as well.
Well, I think, obviously, other than the penalties, it wasn't a clean game, some mistakes here and there. But as far as like just the different, the run game, the pass game, the defense, the pass defense, all that stuff, I think the only thing that you would have a problem with is the running game, kind of the traditional running game up the middle. And this team, while it is going to struggle with that, it looks like that's going to be a problem. For one, we've seen over the years that Frost teams seem to get better throughout the season in being able to run up the middle. So hopefully you'll see that as it goes along. The other thing is this is far from a perfect team. It's going to have flaws. Looks like it's going to be its major flaw on the offense moving forward. But I don't think you expected a perfect team. So, I think it was I can't really blame you no matter how you want to look at this game because they left so many points out on the field. This is an offense that averaged, 22 points per game.
We got to get the whole UCF thing out of our heads, man. We got to we got to forget about it. It ain't happening. You know what Nebraska did today? They won the coin toss and deferred. That's progress. That's a step in the right direction because it's realizing, hey, guess what? We have a good defense and we trust them to go out there and make plays. And then Nebraska scores at the end of the first half. They get the ball back at the start of the third quarter. I don't think they end up converting on that drive, but that's the formula to success for this team. It's the formula for success around this conference. It's not mistake-free. Like you said, Bach, I don't think it's ever going to be. But this was a good blueprint for Nebraska. This is a good blueprint on how to play, or how I wanted them to play going into the year. I said going into the week that I feel like it's a redo of the Illinois game. And if they have that, if they play like they did today and execute that game plan the way they did today against Illinois, they're probably 3-0 right now.
I think that game's going to, I mean, that continues to look worse as Illinois got
horrible.
blown out today.
It's a horrible loss.
That's going to, and we kind of figured at the time Illinois wasn't very good. I mean, that's why that one sticks so much. But if you're a Nebraska fan, they bounced back. They did it. They accomplished the goal. A lot of people said before the year, that the Fordham and Buffalo games were, you just kind of count them off as wins. I think this week a lot of people got nervous about that Buffalo game. Come in and win by 25. I mean, that the bottom line, they got the job done today. Could have been prettier at certain spots. I don't think Adrian could have been a whole lot prettier. I mean, no mistakes today.
He's been great.
Several, making guys miss.
I mean,
he looked really good.
400 yards of offense, no interceptions.
I think you're adding that up a little. You're giving him Logan Smothers 54.
It says 296 and 112.
Well, he had 242. Logan Smothers had 54.
Oh, they have it
but
wrong.
It's close.
They have it wrong in the stat book.
356 yards of offense.
Oh, they gave him Logan's pass on.
Does Logan have any?
No, they gave. Look, they gave him Logan's pass in the thing. I don't know. This is the official scorecard.
Yeah, they're gonna have to switch that up.
They're gonna have to switch that up. Yeah, so 350 plus yards of total offense for Adrian Martinez,
and he could add more if he would have stayed on the field.
No picks, no fumbles, no sacks,
no like dropped picks or anything either. Like, he played a clean game today. Maybe missed like a pass or two, a little in front of Samari Toure once, but that's gonna happen. He's not a perfect quarterback. Yeah.
All right, let's keep things going here. We got Chris on the line. Chris, thanks for holding. What's up?
Hey boys, how we doing?
Pretty good.
Hey, you guys kind of touched on it this last little thing here, but I think the biggest thing I came away with was how good of a player Adrian is, and without him, we would be dead. So
yeah, there's no doubt.
I was just so surprised just the way he played, no turnovers. And then I'll just leave you off. Is there any updates on some of those receivers' injuries or anything? I didn't catch anything.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I got you. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. I mean, it's always tough to come by the information on the injury front. Omar Manning was in a boot. Varying degrees of seriousness with a boot. I mean, sometimes they put it on there for whatever. I mean, guys sprain an ankle in practice, precaution, whatever. From the last I've heard, it sounds like they're aiming at this week to get a guy like Travis Vokolek back, Oliver Martin potentially. Maybe they're just maybe Frost will talk about it after the game, but maybe they're just being a little extra cautious with them. But Allen went out. Yeah, that looks like a concussion. That looked like a head injury to me. So that's going to be tricky throughout the week. That is an issue. I mean, Nebraska's down a few big wide receivers, certainly going into Oklahoma potentially, but we'll see. Chris, I don't know for sure. Well, wish I had a better update for you.
And Xavier Betts, I mean, I think it's time. Everybody's been complaining. Get him the ball. He might not know the offense.
An injury too, right?
He went out with an injury too. Yeah. So we'll see and a lot of guys were. I think a lot of it had to do with the heat on both sides. For both teams. But I think it's time. Like, anybody who's complained for a while that you need to get Xavier involved at some point or another, you were validated today, and it needs to happen moving forward. That tip pass he tipped to himself, that was one throw that wasn't great. I mean, it was just kind of thrown up there, and he made. I mean, that was a miraculous play. Yeah. Had to get called back because of a holding, but so unfortunate for him. But I mean, he's the real deal, and the other real deal, obviously, is Samari Toure. He's their big play offensive guy, and Nebraska severely needed one today. You get 2 68-yard touchdowns, I believe, out of him, and he's. When he's open, it seems like he's getting good separation. We talk about not having separation at times, but it might be the last 2 weeks, that quality of opponent and that quality of defensive back, but he's been able to get separation these last 2 weeks.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's some more. He had 2 catches. What, is this right? 2 catches for 136 yards.
Yeah.
And 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. 2 deep balls.
Pretty good. Not bad.
I think you're going to have to, with your moon hits a pie thing, you're going to have to battle with Hip Hip Toure. Everybody's going with that. Damon Binning mentioned it.
No, come on, Damon.
I like yours better personally, but
all right. We'll have to have a conversation about that. Travis is up next on the Husker After Party Postgame Show. Good evening, Travis.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I didn't hear what the previous caller had to say, but I guess, did anybody know if Omar Manning played today? For one? Two, I thought they played, short of trying to figure out what's going on with the field goal kicker. You go from all conference to whatever's happening. I feel bad for the kid. And once he gets it figured out, I mean, he's a good kicker, but I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
And then offensive line, I don't getting 1 or 2 yards of carry. It just, they hand the ball off. They get 4 or 5 yards a pop. We hand it off. We get 1 or 2. I don't know. It's probably just a little tweak here or there, maybe, hopefully, but I don't know what's going on there. But I tell you what, Buffalo's a hard-hitting team. I mean, you pick a Big Ten team short of Ohio State that wouldn't have had the same struggles, those boys play hard. Buffalo's a good team. I thought it was a good test for us going into Oklahoma because they're going to have a lot of athletes flying around. Buffalo's flying around. I thought Nebraska. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to go beat Oklahoma. I'm just saying that they didn't give up. They had a lot of fight. It was a good win. It's hard to really find something to nitpick at, short of what's going on with the running game a little bit, and obviously the field goal kicker. But I thought they played hard. They came through. We didn't have Oliver. What's his bucket? Martin. I'm not going to call him Miller. And then Austin Allen. Missing him too. So I mean, I thought they played hard. Adrian's running hard, playing hard. I thought it was a good win. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to go beat Oklahoma, but I thought they played hard.
I'm with you, Travis.
That's all I had.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. I would like to continue to call Oliver Martin. Oliver, what's his bucket?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I don't want to make Buffalo out to be world beaters. They played hard. I mean, it was a good team last year for sure.
Yeah.
Nebraska did what they were supposed to do today, though.
I like the talk going into the game was, would Buffalo beat Illinois? I think they're pretty comparable, actually.
I think so too.
And that shows progress for Nebraska. I think, yeah.
It's good.
Nebraska's definitely got better over the last 2 weeks. There's no doubt about that.
And they've gotten good play from Adrian Martinez. I'm with you on the offensive line, but here's the difference. They weren't getting that offensive line play against Illinois. They stuck with it today, man. They just kept pounding away. And guess what? Against a team like that, they don't have the defensive line to do it for 4 quarters. And then those Gabe Ervin runs start getting a little bigger. Those 2-3 yard runs start turning into 8 or 9 yard runs. And that's what happens against teams like that. So now it is teams like that instead of Oklahoma. Is going to be next week. So you'll have your mettle tested next week. Look, Nebraska needs to be better on the offensive line. I don't know what there is to do other than, hope it gels, hope it gets better at this point. But they've stuck with the run game for one. And Adrian's bailed them out. And I think it's been shown that when Adrian is, he has a lot, like, the production wise after the game, he's at over 350 yards of offense. Like it says, like he's carrying a lot of the load for Nebraska, but he's not asked to do that pre-snap, right? Like there wasn't too many design runs for him today.
No,
there was a few and a couple of those, quarterback dart or power, whatever they call it, plays.
And the options, he takes a hit on those too.
And that's a piece of it. But they have taken a little bit more pressure off of his shoulders, I think, which is a really important deal. Do we have another Travis? Secondary Travis, Nick? All right, we got Travis on the line. Hey, Travis.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
You know what I really loved is that Adrian Martinez kept drives alive with the pocket collapsing, and he was able to scramble, get us a first down for 3 or 4 yards and all that. Granted, we can all say that the refs kind of, stuck a little bit.
Definitely.
We shot ourselves in the foot for the points we could have had on the board. But I will say this, that Logan Smothers option was one of the best options I've seen in a long time. And it got Nick Daisy.
I know. It's unbelievable. Thanks for the call, Travis. Appreciate it. The refs are tough today. The refs had a bad day.
Yeah, they did, and there's a few questionable calls there. At the same time, too, neither team played a clean game. I mean, honestly, the Nebraska's defense played great. Buffalo shot themselves in the foot over and over and over.
They looked like Nebraska.
At very important times, to stall a lot of their drives, starting with their first drive. So, I mean, combined 19 penalties called for both teams. Yeah, I think maybe one or two of those, you can argue almost every game. And I don't think the reffing was great. I think that especially that wheel route that Toure had for the first touchdown where they called a pick play on a rub route. I think it was who did they call that on? Who's the wide receiver? I think it might have been
Lever. Yeah.
But he
the far other side of the play.
He was so far away. He pushed the guy, but it had
nobody
covered Toure coming out of the backfield.
20 yards of Toure, and he walks into the end zone, and they call a PI on the other side for Lever making contact with a linebacker.
So I mean,
it has nothing to do with anything.
You could have called it, but it didn't have anything to do with the play.
Stupid. Really, I mean, they brought on the replay official a couple times in the broadcast. He's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's kind of when the ref community doesn't really like to throw each other under the bus.
Yeah,
so
they usually sticking up for each other, but wasn't great today.
402-464-5685. Plenty to get into on the Husker After Party Postgame Show. We'll hear from Scott Frost on the other side of the break, but get in line here. This is a good old trick here. So line this baby up. That's what it's like right now.
Yeah.
Make it not that.
We want to hear you.
402-464-5685. More up next on the Husker After Party Postgame Show following Nebraska's 28-3 win over Buffalo.
Where will you go next? The Southeast Community College Fall 2021 Continuing Education schedule of classes is arriving in your mailbox. Take a class in leadership and professional development, like real estate license prep, business courses like accounting and financials, or building a business plan, or 19 pages of personal interest classes like dog grooming, making jewelry, or even charcuterie. The entire schedule is online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
You could celebrate a Nebraska football win with chips or wings and your favorite beverage, but Beatrice Bakery has all sorts of cakes to celebrate all victories in the fall. Coffee cake, breakfast bread, artesian cakes, and especially Grandma's fruit cake, an original recipe from 1917. No one remembers who brought the chips, but everyone remembers who brought the cake. Make your parties memorable and your Mondays at the office better with cakes from Beatrice Bakery. They ship nationwide. Check out BeatriceBakery.com, proud sponsors of the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Welcome to our world of yum.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Right now, they have tons of Oktoberfest beers, and you can check out their new Empyrean, New Belgium, and Prost selections as their beers of the month. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage shop at 1801 Oak Street.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
93.7 The Ticket is hiring. We're looking for a highly confident, driven, and energetic individual to join our team as a sales executive. You can begin your exciting career in sports radio at a locally owned independent station and work closely with our crew of on-air personalities. If you enjoy meeting new people and working with them to solve their marketing needs, this could be the job for you. Head to theticketfm.com for the complete job description and instructions on how you can apply. 93.7 The Ticket and BDP Communications is an equal opportunity employer.
Want to get a hot and perfect body fast? It's so easy. All you have to do is eat lots of bananas, but peels only, and always be sweating, but never look sweaty. That's disgusting.
Don't follow extreme routines. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness. Now through September 16th, join for just $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and get back to a real routine with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join today for $1 down, $10 a month, and cancel anytime. Hurry, deal ends September 16th. See club for details.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
When you choose new flooring, you don't want to wait for weeks or months to enjoy it. You want it installed right away. Hi, Steve Carper from O Street Carpet. We hear stories every day about long waits and installation charges way higher than necessary. When you choose O Street Carpet, we'll measure free, install right away, and at a much better price. Stop in, shop now. Proud to be Lincoln's choice for nearly 50 years.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street and ostreetcarpet.com.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Back to the Husker After Party postgame show. Brought to you by Southeast Community College on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yeah, listen, I'm scratching my head a little bit because two of our best players on our entire football team are Connor Culp and Cam Taylor-Britt. And Cam made a ton of good plays on defense, and he's a captain. I love him like a son. But, punt return bit us again. We gotta scream and yell and get everybody away from that one. And not sure what's going on with Connor, but he'll get it fixed. I don't want it to turn into a mental thing for him. He's too talented.
There's Scott Frost on Cam Taylor-Britt, his punt returner, and his kicker, Connor Culp, who missed a bunch of field goals today. To be exact, let's see.
3?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and off the text line, I know we had some interest earlier. Do we think that that's Bush League?
He's 0 of 3
to take an attempt there at that time. I don't think so, given that he was 0-2. Buffalo was trying to
want to get him some confidence.
Buffalo was trying to hit field goals when they really didn't.
What were they doing?
Weren't really going to help them too much. So, I think at that point in time, Buffalo and nobody would really be offended when you're defending Big Ten kicker of the year is struggling so much to try to get him some confidence.
And he needs a chip shot, and he got one and missed it.
And it went the other. That's rough. And we both talked about it. I don't know. Like last year, there was a lack of really great kickers in the Big Ten. He just kind of had the numbers, didn't really hit any from too far, but he was very consistent within 40. And he's really, I think he's got to be in his head by now.
With Cam on the punt return, I don't think that's on Cam as much as everybody running into him.
Yeah.
Like you said, they gotta yell Peter and get him away.
Well, maybe that's what he's saying. Maybe Cam Taylor-Britt didn't say anything.
Yeah, maybe that's on him. Yeah.
But that one didn't necessarily seem to be too much of his fault.
Or he could run away.
I'll say the defense looked really, really good. There's guys flying all over. Obviously, the Reimer interception. You can go with, Ben Steele started with the tackle for loss. You'd almost name everybody on the defense. Cam Taylor-Britt didn't have his best game on defense, I didn't think. He was somewhat even picked on a little bit. And so, I think he's better. We saw by the end of last year how good he can be. I hope he can find that form pretty quickly.
We're going to take a couple calls here in a second. Just hang on. Here on the Bush League thing that somebody asked about earlier, here's Frost on what they kind of wanted to do at the end.
We were ready to be honest. We were ready to run it out until they used the timeout, and then I was going to keep the throttle down. But when you get new guys out there, you want to give them a chance to run the offense and make plays too. And thought Logan made another good throw. That's good to see. Chris made another play, and we didn't put any more points up, so no harm, no foul.
Sounds like somebody got a little pissed that somebody called a timeout.
Did he say continue the throttling?
They want to put the.
What did he say?
Well, let's try again.
Until they used the timeout, and then I was going to keep the throttle down, but
keep the throttle in. Keep the throttle in. It's not what I know. He wanted to say keep the throttle down. He did not say keep the throttle down.
The throttle down, but
keep the throttle in.
Oh yeah.
Nebraska football, keep the throttle in.
Then we made a boo-boo there on the field goal.
All right, back to the phone line here. Husker After Party post-game show here on 93.7 The Ticket, brought to you by Southeast Community College and N Street Drive-In. We'd love to hear from you guys, 402-464-5685. Let's head back to the phones where Matthew is waiting. Hi, Matthew.
Hey, guys. Good job as always. I don't want to pile on, but I was kind of in and out of the game. But the comment that I wanted to make is, that the offensive line doesn't seem to me to be getting any push at all. And even though, Buffalo is, a MAC champion, I still felt we should have been pushing them around a lot better. Beans Frost has been here for 4 years now. These guys, have been around in the system. You'd think he'd be turning these guys into better hogs and be able to make that line a little better, because without that, it's going to be a long tenure with him as coach if they're not focusing on that. The other short comment is those helmets are awesome.
Yes.
I love it. I'm glad they finally got rid of that little end. It's a lot better.
I think it'll just be for one game.
But my dust, that looks so much better.
Thanks, Matthew. Appreciate the call. Once again, you can hit us up 402-464-5685. Sharp. The jerseys were sharp.
Yeah.
Now, you probably couldn't tell on the broadcast or really even up close, but there's a camo imprint to them. From if you see the jersey hanging up on a shelf at the store, you could really see the camos there, but you couldn't see it on broadcast at all, which I actually kind of like. They were definitely the sharpest helmets they've ever done. And it was a good jersey matchup because then you had the white at home, so you forced them to wear blue, and the colors really pop.
Red, white, and blue, too.
It is really cool. Nice. The colors, it's like when Nebraska wore red at Oregon a couple years ago, and they wore green. I thought that was like an amazing visual.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot like that today.
Well, usually in the Holy War, they wear red versus blue. Jersey. I mean, and it looks great. It's kind of weird. I mean, a lot of people don't care too much about it, but I thought it looked cool. And I don't know if they're going to go to that, that helmet too often. So sorry, the traditionalists are probably going to win on that.
What if they threw it out there with the red jerseys?
It'd be cool. I think they should use it for the combination. I will say this: it looks like Houston. It looks like Houston's.
Is Nebraska trying to be Houston? Box column.
Let's go to the Big 12 again.
The O-line thing. I mean, look, you're right. It's got to get better for Nebraska to win games. I will continue to say though, they've found ways to kind of manage through it. Now they've played weaker opponents over the last 2 weeks that they've been able to kind of wear down a little bit in the second half, third and fourth quarter, which I think is part of the plan. And like I said earlier, I'll give them credit for sticking to it. 2 weeks ago at Illinois, they weren't. I mean, they went away from the run and they got out of their game plan and they turned the ball over, and then it hit the fan just like it did. So this week you were able to avoid the turnover bug on offense anyway.
Yeah.
And special teams.
On special team area,
I suppose you weren't, but you were able to avoid that bug, and you stuck to the run game, and then you let Adrian make a couple plays for you, whether it's with his arm or with his legs. And for this team right now, you want the offensive line to be better, but for this team and what they have right now and how they're playing, that's the formula. I mean, that's the way Nebraska has to win.
Yeah, and I guess to be fair to that offensive line, it is a young offensive line. You lost 2 guys to the NFL who are on 53-man NFL rosters this year. So I mean, sometimes it will just take some time. I mean, I understand the frustration and the expectation, especially when you talk about the year 4 stuff, that it would be better by now, and that this offense should be working on all cylinders. It's just not that. We saw that it wasn't going to be that last year. We probably got an indication of that against Illinois. So instead of looking for the greatest show on turf or whatever, I think you just got to look for improvements. And I think that they have those. I don't know. I don't know if you have a game-changing running back. Gabe Irvin certainly had a good second half. Marquise Stepp did not follow up on a good performance last week.
Irvin looks more comfortable by the week, I think.
Yeah.
He's looking a little bit more free, and that some of that has to do with, once again, the opponent, but he looks better, I think.
But I mean, you just don't see a whole lot. I guess for the most part, you don't see a whole lot that's not there. They're not breaking too many tackles. They're making great cuts.
For sure.
Here and there they will, but
it's a good point. The running backs could afford to help a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, the biggest problem is that offensive line just not getting a push. I think that's going to continue to be a problem for Nebraska and to work around it. I mean, Oklahoma, I don't imagine it's going to magically get better there. So if Nebraska is going to beat Oklahoma, there's no doubt about it. They've got to play like they played really, really well today. They've got to play better. They can't leave that many points out there. They've got to play almost their best game if they're going to win in Norman. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I mean, I don't know how you could watch this game and not think, wow, Nebraska's taken some giant steps the last 2 weeks.
They're way better than they were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Way better than they were 2 weeks ago. Let's take one or two more quick calls before we take another break here. We got John on the line. Hey, John, thanks for holding. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Just wanted to say, big fan of the show. Love everything you guys are doing here. And just wanted to give a couple quick comments, and then I'll get out of your guys' hair. So usually I'm the eternal pessimist, right? I'm always bummed with Husker football, even if we cover the 40.5-point spread or whatever it is, right? But today I had to say, Adrian Martinez stepped into his throws. I don't know if that was a point of emphasis in practice or what that was, but he was throwing downhill. He was confident. His feet were moving in the pocket. I feel like that might have been an emphasis in practice.
Yeah.
And I'd love to know your thoughts on that. But let me just put one more thing out there.
Sure.
All right. Kicking the football is really hard. Okay. I've tried to kick a football literally 300 times in my life. I barely got it off the ground. So it's kind of tough to see those misses out there. But I have to remind myself, guys, this is a tough thing to do. I mean, it's like hitting a fastball. It's not going to be for everybody. But thanks for taking my call. Let me know what you thought about Adrian in the pocket today. I thought it was a lot different. His confidence and stepping up into his throws was awesome to see. Hang up. Y'all have a good day. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Once again, 402-464-5685. Yeah, I think so. And the great thing is he's kind of stacked them. Back-to-back games, right? Like, you know, you could take it with a grain of salt against Fordham. It's like, yeah, he looked comfortable, but he had all day to throw, and he stepped into a whole bunch of throws, and he hit open receivers and all that stuff. But he stacked them back-to-back, and we could do the whole competition thing, but we just want, you know, for a long time, for several games and over the last couple of years, Adrian with his mistakes, whether it's carelessness with the football or not throwing to open receivers, missing guys, trying to do too much, trying to do too, like whatever it might be, he has definitely found a sweet spot, I think, over the last two games. I said it earlier in the show. I don't want to be too, I don't want to be a blasphemer here, but I think he looks an awful lot like he did his freshman year right now. I just think he's in a really, really comfortable spot. And maybe that all, hits the fan against Oklahoma next week, but I think he's just in a really, really good place.
He's in a good rhythm, and I think that's important, and maybe that's the key takeaway for this game going into that Oklahoma game. Again, I don't even know what the goal is. If you want to switch your goal now to beating Oklahoma, you can go ahead. I think it's going to be really good for Nebraska if they can keep that within 2 touchdowns. And then move forward after that, and to the Northwesterns and the Michigan States of the world. That's where it's really going to matter. But it's fun, to visualize maybe an upset against Oklahoma or whatever. But the most important thing is to have your quarterback going into that game confident. And he's certainly done that. I don't know if you're going to return for the year to freshman Adrian Martinez. I think maybe he could be like a MAC player of the year, which is, that you might sound like a joke.
Brock, we won the MAC today.
We did basically win the MAC. It might sound like a joke, but that's not a joke. That's the level of player that he is. He could be that good if you switch to a conference. He could dominate MAC teams like he did today. It's more difficult once you get up to the Big Ten. I expect him to still struggle in certain games here and there. But it's good to see him with confidence going into this Oklahoma game. I think that gives them, it might be the slightest bit, but it gives them a little bit of a shot as opposed to, if he kind of just had one of those games where he had 2 fumbles and you're going into that game going, man, there's no way, we're too messy.
He's a rhythm guy. I've said it a lot of times in this post-game show, and he's gotten that rhythm over the last 2 games. And whatever that means, it's good for him to feel that way.
And
he plays better when he gets a couple early good things that happen to him.
And he had to break tackles, and certainly on that 71-yard run, he had to make the free runner miss, the blitzer. So the pass protection isn't great, but I will say this: week 1, 5 sacks. The last 2 weeks, 1 sack. And again, that might be quality of competition. Adrian still had to, avoid a few guys there, but I think he had more time in the pocket today. So as bad as the offensive line has been, getting a push and getting the running game going, it's gotten better, at least over the last couple of weeks, in protection for him.
Let's run this up to the hour. So we'll skip this break, and then, get a couple more in at some point. Got to pay the bills somehow. But once again, Husker After Party Postgame Show brought to you by Southeast Community College and N Street Drive-In. Once again, line it up, 402-464-5685. Dylan's up next on the Husker After Party Postgame Show. Dylan, thanks for holding. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Today's game was kind of interesting to watch. It was like coming out of the half and everything, they looked a little bit different than they did starting out. I felt like we had a lot more control going into halftime and then coming back out again, and seeing that it was like we didn't make good adjustments if we made any, because the third quarter was very, very slow on offense. I don't think we scored anything. I mean, it was good to see us win today. It's still Buffalo though, and even if they're the best team in the MAC, that's not going to get you very far in the Big Ten. I think that the team's got a long way to go as far as like the season is and where they need to be, especially on the offensive line. I don't know, as far as like scheme wise with the offensive line, it seems like they play really finesse like they're trying to do way too much with like assignment football and push people around to be like, oh, I'm going to stand in this spot and block somebody instead of just pushing guys over. I think they need to simplify a few things and be able to just close out games, because they let Buffalo hang around way too long in this game. And I know the reffing had something to do with that, but that's definitely what I saw out there today.
Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate the call. Once again, 402-464-5685. Look, I'm not telling you that everybody needs to be back on board and all that stuff. It's still perfectly fair to be pessimistic about this team, but what we've seen from the last 2 weeks is exactly what we've wanted to see. Nebraska handled their business against two lower quality opponents. I was worried about this game. And Dylan's right. They kept them hanging around for probably a little bit too long. But I thought we were going deep into the fourth quarter with this one, to be honest with you.
Well, not only were you worried about the game, we have to remember, like, I know the spread was a certain thing, but I don't think anybody felt too comfortable, just because of that Illinois hangover. You have to remember, if they lost this game, it's like the experiment's over.
The world comes crashing down.
Yeah, the whole, you're out looking for different coaches pretty soon. Yeah. So I mean, this was a huge game, and I think that even takes a break. That will be nice, because it felt like that the first 3 weeks, right? Now you go to Oklahoma, you're not expected really even be in that game. They finally get to go out there and just play next week.
Simple and I were talking about that in the pregame, just the weight of it, the heaviness of it over the last 2 weeks, and what that loss to Illinois did. And you just, you're right. You just get to go out there and play now against Oklahoma. There's no expectations for you. You're like Buffalo coming into Lincoln this week. Like nobody expects you to win, but go out there and play your best game, and then we'll see where it lands after that. And then your season really starts.
Yeah, then it's really
Michigan State's tough. Northwestern's always going to be tough. Michigan looks improved over the first couple games, and then Minnesota. That's a key 4-game stretch for Nebraska. They can get I'm not going to forget about the Illinois loss, because it still hurts you on your path to bowl eligibility or whatever you're trying to get to. And it certainly hurt mentally, but on that part of it, I think you've kind of got out of that funk a little bit with what you've shown over the last 2 weeks. Now you can't erase the loss,
right?
Because you just can't. But I think mentally they're in certainly a much better place.
Well, they've outscored their opponents 80-10 the last 2 weeks. That's how you bounce back. We can say it doesn't look clean. It doesn't look, and it's not. It just kind of depends on what your goals are, right? If you came into this year thinking this is the year they're going to win 8 or 9 games, then you might feel like they're farther away from what you want and they're not quite getting it done there. But if you thought this was a team that's going to have to fight for bowl eligibility, and if they can get it, that'll be an improvement for the program, and then you can move forward with the next year and start to expect 8 or 9 wins, then I think you're feeling good about the progress that they're making. And again, that Illinois loss is getting uglier by the week. Illinois looks like they're going to be the worst team in the Big Ten, and Nebraska looks better than them now. And so it's frustrating. It's always going to be frustrating, but it is what it is. And I think that they've moved on, and they understand now there's a thin margin for error, unless you can get one of these monumental upsets, or even just a minor upset that you're going to have down the road against maybe Iowa. Looks like they're going to be pretty good this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got, but Ohio State looks a little more beatable than they have in the last couple of years. Oklahoma played a game close. So sometimes we get so focused on Nebraska and their mistakes, you don't realize all these teams are a bunch of college kids that are inconsistent from week to week, and they have an opportunity. There is a possibility they will overlook Nebraska or not have their best game against Nebraska, and maybe Nebraska can sneak up and get an upset to make up for that Illinois game.
Can we do a 5-minute Luke Reimer appreciation talk?
Did you know he got a scholarship offer from Buffalo?
Did you know that he walked on here?
I heard that.
Yeah,
his only scholarship offer.
That tackle he made on the far sideline to
huge.
save that first down, that was huge. And then, of course, the interception where I thought he scored at first, and then they showed the replay that he stepped out of bounds. Here's Scott Frost on Luke Reimer's play today.
That's the stuff we've seen from Luke from his first day here. Kid from Northwest 12th Street in Lincoln. Lived 8 houses from my parents. We were lucky enough to get him to walk on, and he was about the second day. We figured we should have scholarshiped him, and he's going to make a lot of plays around here.
Shout out West Lincoln.
That's the exact street.
Northwest, just a kid. They should make that a shirt. Triple
Just
B,
a
get
kid
on it.
from Northwest 12th
Just
Street.
a kid from Northwest 12th Street, 8 houses down from Scott Frost's parents. Put the whole thing on a shirt. Really, all the inside linebackers were good today. Where I was maybe a tad worried about them over the last couple games. Henrich looked like what I saw from high school Henrich today, which is basically I'm going to take my body and I'm going to use it as battering ram and just run into people as hard as I can. And then I'm going to flail my arms everywhere after the play ends and do a whole bunch of fist bumps. That was Nick Henrich in high school. The kid is crazy. He just runs into stuff, and you kind of need one of those freak middle linebackers to just run guys down. And I wouldn't want to meet him at the point of contact. That's for sure.
They've got those guys up front, and I mean, it's not just the linebackers. I mean, like I said, Ben Stilley started off the game with a tackle for loss. You mentioned, Garrett Nelson kind of playing. I know he's more of a linebacker, but he played pretty well. I mean, everybody flashed. Damian Daniels had a huge tackle that ended a drive. Everybody was flying around there and flashing pretty well. And I think this defense has a chance to be better than even I thought it would be. I thought it was kind of, it's the strength of the team, but it's not great. But over the last couple of weeks, they've looked pretty darn good.
And 359 of total offense today, but 3 points on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and a little bit of that was toward the end with some of the backups too. So, but in any case, it's not just like the numbers. You can see it out there. By the end there, when they were rushing, they just overpowered Buffalo. They couldn't. I don't think they eventually landed for a sack, but it was causing problems for that passing game. They've got players. They've got some guys there that'll help them keep them in games as long as Nebraska can stay away from the turnovers on offense, and they've done that. Along with the offensive line worries, that special team thing. I mean, those punt return unit, I don't know. It's just one mistake if it's not the other, and it's just that's going to kill you in some of these games.
It's a bad mental place with all that stuff right now. Like they showed Dawson standing next to Frost once, and he he didn't mean it. They obviously were just talking about something, but the camera angle had Dawson covering his eyes and putting his hat over his eyes. It's just oh,
I'm sad,
man. It's tough to be the special teams coordinator at Nebraska, I guess. One more call before we end out the hour here. We got Chris on the line. Hey, Chris, what's up?
Hey guys. Yeah, I guess I'd give the defense an A-, offense a B, and the special teams another F. I mean, I think if they play like this against Oklahoma, they're probably into the game to midway through the third, and they probably lose 24.
Mm-hmm.
If this is the level that they're at for next week, so they need to.
Chris, you're kind of cutting out on us here. We appreciate the call, though. I love when Chris calls in with his report card.
That's good.
The always brutally honest.
He's got to beat Sipple's report card before that one comes out.
Yeah. So what was it? A- for the offense?
Yeah.
I love it. You can't give him an A because nobody's ever perfect.
I think that was for the defense. Did he say?
Oh, defense A-. Offense B. Was it a B?
Yeah, I think so.
And the
Special
good old
teams,
F for the special teams. I'd like to see it not be an F one day.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't today.
A man could dream. Once again, 402-464-5685. We'll be here with you guys, Bach and I, till about a little after 7:30. But you keep the Keep the juices flowing here. Give us a call, 402-464-5685. We will come back. More of the Husker After Party postgame show after Nebraska's 28-3 win today over Buffalo up next.
You could celebrate a Nebraska football win with chips or wings and your favorite beverage, but Beatrice Bakery has all sorts of cakes to celebrate all victories in the fall. Coffee cake, breakfast bread, artesian cakes, and especially Grandma's fruit cake, an original recipe from 1917. No one remembers who brought the chips, but everyone remembers who brought the cake. Make your parties memorable and your Mondays at the office better with cakes from Beatrice Bakery. They ship nationwide. Check out BeatriceBakery.com. Proud sponsors of the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Welcome to our world of yum.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric has been serving Lincoln and Southeast Nebraska for over 50 years. They've been a trusted name to deliver honest, quality services you can count on. It's always important to know someone you can trust, whether it's for your home or your business. Action is well established and offers convenience and reliability, always committed to a job done right. Give them a call or visit their website at actionlincoln.com. Action, your proud sponsor of the Ticket Postgame Show.
Want to get a hot and perfect body fast? It's so easy. All you have to do is eat lots of bananas, but peels only, and always be sweating, but never look sweaty. That's disgusting.
Don't follow extreme routines. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness. Now through September 16th, join for just $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. And get back to a real routine with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join today for $1 down, $10 a month, and cancel anytime. Hurry, deal ends September 16th. See club for details.
Where will you go next? The Southeast Community College Fall 2021 Continuing Education schedule of classes is arriving in your mailbox. Learn CPR and first aid, or choose a path in trades and industrial technology like automotive or welding, or computers and technology like social media and web development and design, or 19 pages of personal interest classes like making door signs or woodworking. The entire schedule is online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC. Your path to possible.
State Farm, this is Bill.
It finally got me, Bill.
What's that, Rick?
The Clark Street crater, the mother of all potholes.
Oh.
Year after rim-wrecking year, it's tormented the people of this town. It got me good.
But you know, State Farm's got you too.
You hear that? You ain't nothing.
You trash talking a pothole?
Yes, I am.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Deck City is Lincoln's DIY deck headquarters. With real deck professionals, they can help you throughout the entire process. They also offer financing for qualified customers. Deck City offers the best quality materials so you have a deck built to last. There's everything from yellowwood lumber to the best quality TimberTech composites on the market and high-quality aluminum railings by Westbury or Diamond Piers for easy footing install. For those looking to bring your wood deck back to life, they offer good-proof, ready seal stain. Deck City, your deck material headquarters, is now open Saturdays from 9 to 1, 2 blocks north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
Hey guys, looking for that extra confidence when it's time to have fun? Let me tell you about BlueChew.com. BlueChew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. BlueChew tablets help men combat all forms of ED. BlueChew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And it ships right to your door in a discreet package. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part? It's all done online. Don't like swallowing pills? No problem here. Blue Chew's tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy. And here's a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code TICKET at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code TICKET to receive your first month free.
Double espresso for Matt, large ice mocha for Greg, $2,022 for Katie. Oh, oops.
Everybody's mind is on the Nebraska Lottery's Powerball's Rockin' 15 promotion. Until September 25th, buy a Powerball with PowerPlay ticket and enter for a chance to be one of 15 to win $2,022 and a chance to win $1 million.
Sorry for the mix-up, Katie. Here's your latte.
Forget the coffee. Where's my $2,022? Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Right now, they have tons of Oktoberfest beers, and you can check out their new Empyrean, New Belgium, and Prost selections as their beers of the month. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage shop at 1801 Oak Street.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket. Back to the Husker After Party postgame show. Brought to you by Southeast Community College. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Connor Happer, Jake Bachhoven with you on the Husker After Party postgame show. Brought to you by Southeast Community College and N Street Drive-In here on 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com. Always feel free to give us a call, send us a text, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Sartor Heyman text line, or leave a comment on the Sartor Heyman Jewelers video stream. You can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch at 93.7 The Ticket there. Shortly, we're going to get Nick's. We've created a new segment on the postgame show. It'll be Nick's former Husker update.
Oh, that's going to be one of my favorites.
There's some interesting stuff going on in the world of college football involving former Huskers. We'll get to that momentarily, but we're here for you guys, 402-464-5685. Once again, the number. Let's take a phone call. We got Froth. It's Froth in Lincoln. I went on Froth's podcast once. It was a great experience. Hi,
Nice.
Froth.
That was the best podcast of my life. It's so much fun, Connor.
How's it going,
I
Froth?
just wanted to call in and say hi, see if you remember me, which you do, so that's fun.
It's a win.
Yeah, honestly, I can't really hear right now, but I got to say, not a lot to be really sad about. I mean, we played great without offensive playmakers. Like you were saying, Martinez looked really happy. Looks like my Labrador running in the backyard, after a Frisbee. Thought that was pretty great. People are going to be sour out there. I don't know why they should be. Positive vibes. That's what we got last week. We got this week. I'm just happy overall. All right, that's all from me. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, Froth. Appreciate it. Hope that podcast is still kicking. The vibes are immaculate. Yes. 28-3 after 52-7. Yeah, I mean, if you were to draw up how these last 2 weeks, how you wanted them to go, I think that's pretty close to it. If you had told me 5 hours ago that Nebraska was going to win 28-3 today, I'm like, yeah, sign me up immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And then also that they maybe, left some points out there and could have won like 42-3 or 42-10 or something like that. Yeah, sign me up. I'm on board.
Yeah, I mean, they left too many points out there. I think that's something that's going to be talked about this week because, again, you're not going to be able to do that against a lot of the opponents moving forward.
2 field goals for sure, or three field goals. You had a touchdown. You had 3 touchdowns wiped out by penalties.
You had 3 times that your guys actually got into the end zone and were called back.
Is that okay? So let's examine them though before we take this next call. The Betts one was
a holding.
Was a hold, which
was there.
I'm not. What was it? I'm not sure.
At least Damon Bidding agreed. I
was there at the stadium at the time, and I couldn't tell for sure. The other one was the PI way away from the ball on Lever on the Toure wide open touchdown catch.
Yeah,
which that's just wrong. That was just incorrect. So no, it was a foul, but it shouldn't have been. And then the last one on the Smothers option pitch.
Yeah.
Horrible call. Objectively horrible call on 2 of them. Can we agree? Buck, don't do this.
On that option pitch, I think you could go with the call on the field. That's all I'm saying. It was close enough where it was right on the line.
Bach loves the Big Ten too much. He can't even see. He can't even see that the officials are horrendous.
All I'm saying is 30 points left on the field is a lot of points left on the field, regardless of, I can't blame that all on the refs.
Well, the last field goal, it was compounded by the bad call. So if you wouldn't have even had the field goal.
Okay, not 30 points,
so you
like
can't
26.
You can't take 10 off the board. It's really just 7.
Yeah.
And then they missed a field goal on another one of those drives too, right?
No, they the the Bets one, remember they got the ball like that was right after Reimer got that open field tackle. They got the ball on their, on the other side of the 50. They needed to really score on that one, and they didn't.
Okay,
so that one's ugly.
Bach loves the refs,
and I love the refs. And the refs might not have played well, or not have done too well today. But like I said, it was sloppy from them. You have 19 total penalties between the Bulls, the Cornhuskers, and the refs. And so I think between them all together, just a sloppy game from everybody.
The OPI was egregious. It was egregious. I'll never forget that, Big Ten refs.
It was bad just because it didn't have anything to do with the play. Like usually on a pick play, I understand, or a rub route. I understand if they make contact if it
had any effect.
But
on
it
the
just
play.
Nobody like that guy was not going to even be like within 10 yards of Toure. He wasn't going for Toure.
No, not at all.
He
He was
got
wide
pushed.
open from the he was coming out of the backfield.
Yeah.
You're like he's going to be
It
open.
was a missed assignment more than
Yeah.
anything to do with the pick.
Yeah, right. They called a flag for Buffalo missing their assignment. So
Yeah, they basically did.
All right, let's take another phone call. We got Rex on the line. Hey, Rex.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Pretty good.
Good. Well, you guys just touched on a lot of what I had there. Just
Go
real
for it.
bad stuff seems, but the one thing I'm glad to get a W today. It feels like it's been a long time since beat anybody besides Fordham. But the one thing I am a little nervous coming out of the game is besides Martinez, man, the rushing attack still kind of unnerving. Not getting a lot out of those guys.
Yeah,
running back.
I'm with you, Rex. There's no doubt that will not be fun for Nebraska in Big Ten play. That's for sure.
Yeah, but otherwise, happy to get a win. Happy, all around up. So good vibes here.
Good vibes. Good vibes.
That's right.
Keep them good, Rex. The vibes are immaculate. Once again, 402-464-5685. I'm just going to have to come up with a stock answer on the run game. Here it is. They stuck with it, which is good.
Yeah.
The offensive line has been rough. No excuses. They need to be better. Do we think they have gotten better over the 3 weeks? Has there been any incremental improvement?
Well, I mean,
other than they just stuck to it play calling wise.
Well, but sticking to it is part of what worked today. Gabe Ervin had 4 attempts for 5 yards in the first half. What did he finish with? He had like
56 yards, I think.
56 yards with and just like 6 more attempts. So in the second half, Gabe Ervin had quite a performance. In 2 of those carries, by the way, he couldn't go any further than the 2 yards he carried them into the end zone.
5.6 yards per carry.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it seems like they're going nowhere. They're not going to gash them every time. Like you want it to be better, but aside from a couple Martinez scrambles where he felt it and he was kind of running for his life a little bit, I didn't think the protection was horrible in the pass game either. They didn't give up any sacks. That's the indicator of that. And so a caller called in earlier and he's like, "Well, if you take away Adrian's 112, what is it?" And first of all, I hate doing that. Like I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do that. But I understand the point. They overall 41 carries for 220, which is 5.4. Now Adrian had 9 for 112, so I understand the point on that one. If you take away the 70 what?
71.
71. I don't know.
Which he's a big play quarterback now. After couple of a 75 and a 71. And that one was reminiscent of like the Taylor Martinez one against Wisconsin. He made a few more guys miss than that, but there's a lot of open field once Adrian got through there. But
149 divided by 40 is 3 points. So without the 71, it's 3.7.
Yeah, that's more of an indicator of what it looked like. Yeah, because like Marquise Stepp had 9 carries for 17 yards. You take away his long, and he had 8 carries for 10 yards. Morrison, didn't do a whole lot better. They gave 7 a chance. He had 8 carries, but
it flipped back over today between Stepp and Irvin. I thought,
yeah,
they kind of went away from Stepp and they rode the hot hand, and Irvin was definitely the hot guy today, I suppose.
They had in the first half they have Stepp and Morrison for 6 carries and Irvin only for 4, and then they were just from there on they kind of were more interested in Irvin.
Frost was asked after the game. About the lack of Marquise Stepp in the second half.
I don't have much to do with that. We kind of talked before the series about what plays we want to get to, and Held has those guys on a rotation, and I expect you'll see more of him.
For what it's worth, Gabe Ervin did have 10 carries. Like I said, Stepp had 9. He wasn't like completely outworked, and Morrison had 8. It was more of like a 3 running back, tandem there where they all got just about the same amount of carries, and Irvin did the most with his.
I'm okay with the committee approach between the two guys, and like you get into the game. Not that your game plan is to have it by committee. You put one out there, and if he's not going as well as you want him to go, then okay, try another guy. And then they did that today. Like Stepp got the first carry, I think, and then they turned it over to Irvin for a while, and Irvin was better today.
I just don't. Yeah, and I know preseason they were talking about trying to get that one guy. I don't think they have him.
They just don't have it.
You don't. I mean, you don't have to force it. If you're going to just try to find a hot hand approach, because we've seen. I mean, that's been working a little bit too. I mean, Stepp obviously was the hot hand last week. Irvin this week, but for each of them, it's somewhat unspectacular. They're not getting big plays, and that was a concern for me coming into this game. It's not a big play offense, and then today you had several big plays. Adrian Martinez with the 71-yard scramble, 2 68-yard passes to Toure. Hickman, of course, got a big play in the air at the end. So, I mean, that gives me a little bit of hope, because if you're going to combine the fact that you can't run the ball up the middle with the fact that you don't have big plays, then your offense is in a lot of trouble.
You have no offense.
Yeah, but if you can at least get one of those things rolling, then you can have a decent offensive performance game in and game out.
We'll take a break here. We'll come back. Phone's still open for you guys, 402-464-5685. We'll go about another 15 or 20 minutes before we send it over to DP out at Tanner's here. Go out there and join him on South 27th and like south of just south.
When he's Scott Frost.
Nick, you know the south side of town better than I do.
It's 30th and Yankee Hill.
30th and Yankee Hill.
Perfect.
27th
South.
is very close to 30th, by the way.
Just go in that general area.
South.
Would you like to shut up? Would you like to give us your former Husker update?
Actually, I would love to.
Okay, please do. Tell us about what happened
do it
today.
before it gets any better or worse.
Okay.
All right, let's just start with Kentucky. Wandale Robinson.
Yes.
1 carry. It was a jet sweep. I saw the replay for 64 yards.
What? Wandale's running?
It was a jet sweep. It was like a Xavier Betts kind of thing.
He has to transfer now.
He doesn't want carries.
It was a Xavier Betts thing, and they were able to set the edge.
I think he's transferring.
They were able to set the edge for 64 yards.
Is that game over?
No. Kentucky's up 14-0 on Missouri with 4 minutes left in the first.
Oh,
that sounds like a good Bach game.
That sounds pretty good. That's a SEC.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to that game.
All right, then.
What about Luke?
Yeah, I got to find Rice. They're a little ways down there. So Luke got the start today, if you guys did not know.
Nice.
Rice. Hold on. There it is. 17-7 against Houston. They're losing.
Okay.
Luke McCaffrey, 8 of 12, 72 yards through the air. Unfortunately, he did throw a touchdown, but he has 2 picks. I have not looked at his rushing stats.
Why did he unfortunately throw a touchdown?
Well, before when I told you about it, he hadn't had the touchdown.
Oh, so
it
looks worse.
would have been
2
better.
picks.
Yeah. 2 picks.
Other
rushing,
than that, efficient. Though.
His rushing yards.
Yeah.
5 carries, 11 yards.
Wow, Luke's a pocket passer now.
Luke's trash.
Write it down.
Hey.
What did you just say?
Nothing.
Is that a quote
Nothing.
of something?
Yes, but it's not very well known, so never mind.
How's JD Spielman doing?
Yeah, check out JD. He still plays for TCU.
Does he really?
Yeah,
he does.
He still plays for TCU.
He doesn't really do a lot.
I tried to
He had
see
a
if Cade
touchdown
Warner
last
does anything at K-State. He hasn't caught a ball all season.
He didn't get named a captain.
Did he drop any in the end zone?
Okay, TCU.
Yeah, this is pile on former Huskers.
Yeah, except for Wandale, who we all admit he's pretty good.
All right, TCU got a big 34-32 win over Cal.
That's right.
All right.
And JD was the big player in that one.
1 catch for 9 yards.
All right.
That sounds about like his last year's performance from JD.
Thank you, Nick, for your former Husker update. Could be brought to you by you soon, because we're gonna do this every week. So hit us up if you wanna sponsor that. Bring that home for us. All right. Final call for phone calls here, 402-464-5685. We'll take a break on the Husker After Party postgame show. We'll look ahead to Oklahoma. We'll get caught up on some other scores around college football, and we'll round this thing out next.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Right now, they have tons of Oktoberfest beers, and you can check out their new Empyrean, New Belgium, and Prost selections as their beers of the month. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage shop at 1801 Oak Street. Now that Ken Richards has purchased Broker's Agency, he and his professional staff will continue to provide their clients with the same excellent service under the Broker's Insurance Agency name. Broker's Insurance Agency works with more than 15 companies to help find the best policy for you to avoid any long hassles. Also, if you're looking to get into the insurance business as an independent agent, they have the formula to make that process smooth and successful. Call Ken with Broker's Insurance Agency today at 402-420-5353 or visit brokersinsuranceNE.com.
Last year, the average starting pay for an SEC truck driver training program graduate was $44,720. Southeast Community College can now make that a reality in only 8 weeks with its professional truck driver training class starting in October. SCC's fleet of 12 trucks and professional instructors will prepare you for a new career. You'll end the course with your Class A CDL. Learn more about SCC's professional truck driver training class at southeast.edu/truckdriver. SCC, your path to possible.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska athletics. With prime-grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Wakey, wakey, new breakfast at Casey's.
Wakey, wakey, new breakfast at Casey's. Do-do-do-do-do.
Wakey, wakey, breakfast, Casey's.
Casey's new breakfast, featuring delicious handmade sandwiches like this signature handheld made with our fresh made-from-scratch dough. Buy any hot breakfast item and get a coffee for just $1. Casey's, here for good.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings. Take a look at your backyard. Does it feel like something is missing? You're right. Now is the perfect time to get an above-ground swimming pool from Bonsall Pool and Spa. Above-ground pools require less space than in-ground pools, are temporary structures if you ever choose to move, and are low maintenance. Plus, you'll never have to worry about the kids getting bored in the summertime anymore. Visit bonsallpool.com to schedule a pool service or visit them at 33rd and Highway 2. Bonsall Pool and Spa.
You could celebrate a Nebraska football win with chips or wings and your favorite beverage, but Beatrice Bakery has all sorts of cakes to celebrate all victories in the fall. Coffee cake, breakfast bread, artesian cakes, and especially Grandma's fruit cake, an original recipe from 1917. No one remembers who brought the chips, but everyone remembers who brought the cake. Make your parties memorable and your Mondays at the office better with cakes from Beatrice Bakery. They ship nationwide. Check out BeatriceBakery.com, proud sponsors of the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Welcome to our world of yum.
Back to the Husker After Party postgame show. Brought to you by Southeast Community College on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're out of here in a few minutes, but the postgame show does not end. This postgame show ends, but the postgame coverage does not end. Because as everyone knows, Tanner's is located at 30th and Yankee Hill, and that's where you should go. I think I'm going to go down there.
Yeah.
I want some chicken wings. Yeah. Yes, I am. Yes, I am, Nick. I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you. I'm going.
Just put it. Get that address again. Put it in your maps.
30th.
You'll figure it out.
At Yankee Hill. That's where I'm going after this. For the second installment of the post-game show with DP out there, and a couple esteemed guests along the way. All right, so we promised you we get an update around the world of college football. Let's go to the big one of the day. Bach, go ahead.
The big one of the day?
Yeah. Your boys.
Okay, I didn't know if you were talking about the bad one for the Big Ten or the good one for
the
Big
good
Ten.
one.
The good one. Iowa. One of my favorite teams. 27-17 over Iowa State. Another 2-interception performance from one of the Hawkeyes defenders. 3 total. They're for real. They're good.
They're good. They're good.
It's Iowa.
They're good.
They might be
for real.
It's
They're good. It's Iowa.
They're probably and with the other one, with Ohio State losing to Oregon, they might be the top ranked team in the Big Ten now.
It could be close. They'll probably go up to 7 or 6.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What's going on?
Are we ready for number 6 Iowa next week? They look good. They got a fumble out from Breece Hall, who never fumbles. Frankly, I mean, maybe Nebraska fans could take some solace in this. Yeah, they own Nebraska. They also own Iowa State. I think they've won 6 in a row in that series.
Yeah,
now.
they do. But I will say this too. There's also the possibility Iowa State and Indiana aren't very good. And we're still in that
Iowa State
area.
was kind of sketchy last week.
They were against what? Who was that? Northern Iowa? Yeah.
Northern Iowa.
That was bad.
Yeah.
We'll see what Indiana does.
For some reason, Northern Iowa has that thing against the Iowa team, the other Iowa teams. Like they always play Iowa tight. They play
do.
Iowa State tight. They beat Iowa a few years ago. So maybe you're kind of looking at that. It's like, they'll be fine. But yeah.
But how about just, like there's so many teams struggling today, especially in the top 10, and then like Miami and Texas right now.
How about Texas A&M just squeaking away at Colorado, 10-7.
Yeah, I don't know if do you move Iowa above Texas A&M now?
Iowa's better than Texas A&M. I'd love to see Iowa.
I would do it.
Iowa, Texas A&M in the Capital One Bowl.
There you go.
It's happening. Just
they
line it
should
up
go
right now.
above Notre Dame, who squeaked out a win against Toledo.
Yep.
Who's number 8.
And then we have Ohio State, who lost to Oregon today, 35-28. People got to get used to this. Oregon is now like the physical monster. Like there's nobody on the West Coast that has that identity. Mario Cristobal has got that thing going. And I mean, that's obviously not what they're known for as a program, but they are so tough inside. And you have to beat a team like that. Ohio State's so good on the defensive line, but Oregon just keeps at it, man. They do what they do. They are the big boys of the West Coast, and they take down Ohio State today. Ohio State has issues of their own. Stroud was up and down. I think he ended up having over 400 yards passing.
Yeah, 484 yards.
484 yards. But he was up and down. Ohio State maybe looks a little bit more gettable. I'm not sure, though. 35-28 was that game. What about Oklahoma? 38-0. Okay, they're fine.
Yeah.
If you were worried about
Catamounts
over the Western Carolina Catamounts, if we were worried about Oklahoma after last week against Tulane, maybe we'll just forget about this.
There's 8 minutes left in the second quarter, and Spencer Rattler has 4 touchdown passes.
Oh, gotcha.
It's not going well for the
So
Catamounts.
I think they're okay. Arkansas leading Texas 16-0 at the moment.
Shutting them out.
Wisconsin taking care of business 17-0 against Eastern Michigan in the second quarter. Miami's losing to Appy State.
There we go.
In the second quarter. And then we still have a couple more good games tonight. All right, Bach, let's set the tone here for Oklahoma week. It's Oklahoma week. We've been waiting for this game for years.
That's right.
This is and Nebraska actually kind of has some good momentum, good juice going into this game. The record's not what they wanted it to be, but it's in the past. The Illinois game seems like years ago now. Nebraska's in a better place. And you go down there and you play your best game and you see where it lands. I think that's kind of the attitude this week. And you can Sipple and I, like I said, we were talking about this earlier. They lose this game. We're not even thinking about Oklahoma this week.
Right.
I mean, it's like a death march.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. We're going to play this game. Fine. But the conversation is
the writing's on the wall, unfortunately.
The conversation is about the program and where it goes. And that weight is not all the way lifted, but it's it feels like a lot looser of an atmosphere right now.
Well, it's crazy because it's in college football, things can change from that feeling to if you did somehow get a win next week, all of a sudden Scott Frost has all the momentum in his program again.
Holy crap!
I'm not expecting Nebraska to win that game based on what we've seen from Nebraska, but it's again just a reminder, just watch some college ball, see what's going on out there. We mentioned top 10 teams struggling. Oklahoma did themselves last week. It's not impossible for this to happen. And if Nebraska plays Oklahoma, they're probably going to lose 14 out of 15 times, right? But if they get, who knows? It might be that one next week.
Other teams have problems too.
That's right.
Is that what you're saying, Bob?
I'm saying that, but not right now. Not for Oklahoma right now. Not currently, but
also not Iowa.
And not Iowa. They're great. Iowa's awesome. Their defense is just. I love watching teams that just defensively. Need their defense.
That was
to win
the best part of today. That was easily the best part of today. You just trust Nebraska's defense to make a play and keep them out of whatever scoring range they're in. It's really fun. And they've kind of steered into that a little bit.
And what would you say, Luke Reimer, 16 tackles today?
16 tackles
that's
for
a
Luke
pretty
Reimer.
That's a heck of a day.
That's a half a Greenhagen.
Which is really good.
Half a Greenhagen? I'll take that every day from your best middle linebacker. All right, that's it. Husker After Party Postgame Show wraps up. Once again, thanks to Southeast Community College and N Street Drive-In. But stay tuned. Jay and DP are up next out from Tanner's. Please join them. Listen in. We'll talk to you guys later.
Where will you go next? The Southeast Community College Fall